Happy Friday and welcome in. It's the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. Nicole, what are you having?
I'm having my signature Tito's cranberry and orange juice. Mr. Nick, I need you to tell me what you're drinking and our three things for the show.
I'm having my classic red wine Cabernet 7 Oaks. So for this week, well, we got a lot on the agenda. Uncle Howdy's in-ring debut, AEW All In takeaways, and it's WWE Bash in Berlin previews. It's Friday, August 30th, 2024. This is the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Welcome back. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, Nicole.
Happy Friday. We made it. Thank God.
Did it.
It's
been a week. That it has been. If you're new here, we love having you. Welcome in. Hit the old like and subscribe. This is a fun, interactive call-in show, so you will have the opportunity to share your thoughts. So please, by all means, do so. As our dog is joining the party himself, too. Jackson, join the party. Welcome in. What are you thinking? What are you drinking, Jackson? Nothing. No, he doesn't really have much to share right now. But regardless, we kick it off. We're going through a lot in this week. Like we said in the opener, we have AEW All In. We have Monday Night Raw to take away. And we have our Bash in Berlin predictions. We want to hear from all of you. But we kick it off with Monday Night Raw takeaways. And we're gonna talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw, but we're going to bleed it into our predictions. So we're going to skip over a few items now and come back to it later. Nikki, your thoughts?
Oh, tsunami! I think that is the big, no pun intended, kind of takeaway. That, again, kind of this Raw portion is us kind of talking about stuff that's not going to be talked about or fought over at Bash in Berlin. We finally got the showdown between the Bronze, Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman, and oh boy, this spot. I know you wanted to mention some stuff about the match, but all I want to talk about is this spot. So
yeah, I mean, this has been the craziest spot of the week in the last couple of probably the last month I could think of. You knew with Bronson that you're going to do something like this. I didn't expect this match to get as crazy as it did as early as it did on just a random, I don't want to say random, but kind of, well, it's the go home show for Monday Night Raw, but yeah, I mean, I think that there's more of an opportunity, for them to, oops, wrong one. I'm going back and forth between things. I just think there was more opportunity to make this a pay-per-view or a PLE match, right? As we're continuing to build up Bronson Reed, but man, he is phenomenal. He's a lot better than I thought ever imagined.
I don't know. I think he's one of those, like, these new big men that move. Again, like he said, one of his favorites, one of his idols was Bam Bam, and he reminds me so much of Bam Bam. How, like, he's this huge guy, but like moves. Like you show. I don't know if you still have the picture of him doing the suicide dive, like him. Like he's agile. Like he's done the moonsault before.
Yeah,
he just, I don't know. I think it feels like a long time coming, because I feel like when he first came up from NXT, they kind of didn't know what they were doing with him. I remember he did like this one promo with the glasses on, and he was trying to be all like debonair, and I was like, I just want you to beat people up. And I feel like it's kind of hitting his stride now. And I think him taking out Seth, him taking out Truth, like beloved people, and then I think. Well, at the kickoff show, Miz got a huge reaction in Berlin, but it's like he's kind of taking out these baby faces, and now with Braun being a baby face, he's like, "Oh, this is your big baby face, like in stature," and takes him out. Like that tsunami was incredible, and then you just hear the crunch, and then the I almost said the lights flicker, and then the glass breaks, and you see like the smoke coming out. And apparently they said he just like got up and walked away. Which
Yeah.
like what kind of more badass is that? It's just like blop, deuces.
Well, yeah, I mean, Braun Strowman's getting the kind of Big Show treatment now that he's just like a monster. They put him up against tag teams and groups to try and make the group look strong. But when the situation arises like this, where you have another big guy, he can really put somebody over. And this was a great scenario where we've been waiting. Again, like he's been beating up people every week. You know, whatever Miz, R-Truth. Like it's usually like the typical like big guy beats up the strong guy type of stuff. And now finally, you know, you're wondering who's going to be the guy that challenges him, and they throw him right at Braun pretty quickly. Like this is something that I like I said, like was it the right time? Because like it could have been a PLE match, and really, you know, added more to Bronson Reed, a little bit more, you know, luster to a win for him, which I don't even know if this is a win. It was just a beat down, I guess.
I don't think it. Sometimes wins and losses doesn't matter. I'm gonna have to again. Then Adam Pearce came out freaking out. And then all the guys, like oh, what's his face? He's right there.
Jamie Noble, boy.
Yes. And then you saw Jason Jordan and Kenny Dykstra were all there, like freaking out. But I think it looks great. I have to disagree with you about it being on a PLE. I think at this point, if you're not one of like it's not one of the big 4 or 5, if you want to include Money in the Bank, they're doing 5-match cards. This at this juncture doesn't warrant a PLE.
I mean, you could have got this
champion.
going for another month and still.
But what this kind of bleeds into, if you want me to transition, like what he's doing next is bigger than beating up Braun Strowman. I think it's a great go home spot. I think it's going to lead him into the next thing. I think again, cool spot, fun match. He's very agile. I think you're giving this more than it's worth.
I don't know. I want everyone to get their moment.
He did. Not a moment.
So then it kind of begs the question, right? Then maybe this is bleeding into your next point. But who stops Bronson Reed's destruction? Like who's the monster slayer? I guess monster slayer. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Who takes down
slays the beast?
Yeah, who slays the beast? Like where is in this mind, in your mind, where is this going? Where he's got to have someone take him down, right? He's got to have his foil.
I can tell you where we're going.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I'm gonna throw you in the back of my DeLorean and gun it to 88.
Well, my theory is that we're building him up as the next big challenger for Braun Strowman. Braun Breaker. There's too many B's.
You think it's gonna happen? Like it's so. Moving forward, Braun Breaker announced last week that there was going to be a tournament of sorts to determine the number 1 contender for the IC belt. What they announced on Monday is there's going to be 4 triple threat matches, and the winner of each one of those matches is going to go into a fatal 4-way match. And that whoever wins that fatal 4-way will be the number 1 contender to go after Braun Breaker and the IC belt. So they had 2 of the triple threat matches on Monday. Of course, Jey Uso won his match, and then Peter Dune won his match. So they're in for the fatal 4-way. And they announced next week that our dear Bronson Reed is in the qualifier. He's in a match with Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. And the other match is Ilya Dragunov, Dragon Lee, and Dom Mysterio. So do you have Reed win that match and go after Braun Breaker, and then Braun Breaker takes him down? I think it's way too early to take the belt off Breaker, but it'll be a good match.
I don't think you could do. I think the reason it's a fatal 4-way is that you could protect Bronson Reed if he can win next week, or it's a triple threat to get in, right?
It's a triple threat to get in, and then a fatal 4-way of the 4 winners. So
it's a triple. So you could protect him both, and he's not taking the pin in either the triple threat or the fatal 4-way. I think he probably wins the triple. Wait, who's he against next again?
Kaiser and Sheamus.
Oh, I could see him winning. He's winning that because Kaiser and Sheamus have their feud still going on,
right?
And I could see him like it kind of Roman like stacking them. That would be kind of cool. That would be something that would look he would look super strong if that were the case.
That like Sheamus and Ludwig kind of.
Lisa's a greeting. Oh, Braun, baby. Lisa, chiming in.
But you have Sheamus and Ludwig kind of take each other out, and then Bronson Reed capitalizes on that. And then goes into the Fatal 4-Way, and then you can protect him in the Fatal 4-Way if you don't want him to go have that one-on-one with Braun Breaker yet. I think he wants the triple threat up in the air about the Fatal 4-Way.
I could see that. I don't know. The Fatal 4-Way, you could have whoever, take the pin as long as it protects Reed for at least the foreseeable future. So I don't know. What do you all think? Apparently, according to Michael Cole, this is the tsunami. He's becoming a world attraction now. Is Bronson Reed getting over? Like, they're booking him over, but is he getting over with you? Like, to me, that match on Raw 100% solidified him as he could be a threat. He could be a main event star, not just another big guy. So I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see where they go from here.
Yeah, so I don't remember, and someone correct me, like when they're going to have that Fatal 4-Way. I don't know if that's at the next Raw, or is that going to be whatever pay-per-view is in September?
No, I think the Fatal 4-Way is probably going to be, it'll be a one-on-one.
It'll be like a Raw match, and then that match, I don't know. Steven, somebody tell me, what's the September pay-per-view?
Yeah, we need people to chime in.
Because it's Back to Berlin, something in September, and then Bad Blood. My new favorite pay-per-view in the history of ever. But maybe there, I don't know. Oh, it is Raw in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thanks, Erwin. Professor, chiming in.
I know, it's too much wrestling I have to keep in my
Welcome
brain.
back, Professor. So yeah, and I know there's a lot to keep track of. So that being said, brings us into the main event of Monday Night Raw, which is the, in fact, debut of Uncle Howdy. In-ring debut. Excuse me, sorry. So Uncle Howdy makes his in-ring debut. If you didn't catch it, let's catch you up on it. I know, a little extra piano there for you. So we see the in-ring debut of Uncle Howdy after weeks and weeks, or months, really.
Months.
Yeah, months and months. We finally get the debut of Uncle Howdy. Nikki, take us through, and what are your thoughts?
I'm excited that both of them got a main event spot to close out Raw. We talked briefly, like, when did Bo do that? When he was like running around with Miz, but I don't think Miz ever closed out a show. And then even like with Chad Gable, the stuff that he's been doing with, like, obviously previous Alpha Academy, like, that was never made. Or I guess maybe when he was with Gunther, but was that made? Again, what happened in June? My brain is fried, but like, I don't know. I think this is like a great. I'm excited for them to have this spot, and I think I'm glad this was it was a good match. I actually really like this match. I'm glad that it felt more grounded in actual, not very much this spot, but grounded, and it wasn't like Bo Uncle Howdy is this like spoopy character, and like how can Chad Gable like not defeat him in like 30 seconds, or how can he not defeat Chad Gable in 30 seconds? So I like that this feels a little less like them being spooky, like they're kind of like this weird cult thing, but it's not as supernatural, and they had like a legit like match. So I think that was always the thing with the Fiend. It's like he's supposed to be this crazy supernatural thing. how, of course, he, like, when he beat Finn Balor in 2 seconds, like, that makes sense. But then it's hard to book the feud afterwards. I think if you make Howdy more human, then he can actually have legit matches.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if you're gonna, because it was kind of like, well, the thing that was interesting to me is that like he's not like Bray. Also, Bray was a bigger dude. He's like 6'7" or something like that. Like so 6'7", not maybe not 6'8", but like he was big and thick and like stocky. Like Bo is not
husky,
like that.
You would say
like a husky Harris. But like to me, like he's not going to wrestle like Bray. But he wants to incorporate elements of the character. Like for instance, like you were talking about it, like the dance or whatever. Like he did it super early on.
Yes. Yeah. You want to see my point? Go ahead.
No. But like, no, I'm not going to steal your point on this. But like, my thought on it is, like, it's something that Bray could do because Bray was a bigger guy. Bo is a smaller, more average size wrestler. So like he's not going to like ragdoll people around. So that something like that is not as like into his character. You know what I mean? Like to his style. I don't know.
No, and I think that's the thing when Bray did that to Cena, it was like, oh my god, because they had like that big. It was like a long match, and you saw that John Cena couldn't keep him down. He was getting ragged, and that's when he did the dance. Like it was later into the match, not like the second move. And again, like him and Chad being similar sizes, like it didn't. It was like, oh yeah, he did the thing, but it just didn't fit the match or their body sizes. I don't know what guy he's going to be able to do that to.
Yeah, it's not.
To be.
I just think to his credit, he's trying to do a lot of the callbacks.
Right, which when we get in like later into the match, like a lot of them were good. That's the only one that I did not like.
Sure, I guess it depends on your view of the. I don't know. I can't really disagree with your point on that. Like, I guess the other thing too is like you're not going to have a bad match with Gable.
Right.
So these two are going to put on a show, and like Gable himself he's been getting his ass kicked in this whole feud, right? I absolutely love him using the angle slam. He's been using that for a little while now?
I think once he kind of turned heel, it was more like he's doing it.
I would love to see him use that. I know he's got the chaos theory, which is cool too, but like,
why not both?
Yeah, I love. I don't know. I love. It's a great move, and I think we talked about making him like the new Kurt Angle or whatever you want to call it, like 2.0. Like I just think, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, I don't think he's that big.
But because he was always I guess he was always next to Rowan and Harper. And I guess those guys were like 6'8", and Harper.
They're not that tall.
They are. All right. Rowan is definitely like 6'8".
Brody is the same size as Wyatt. I don't know. All right, quick Google.
I know Herman's looking Googling it up. I could hear it. I could hear the typing and the steam, and I should bring him on with the steam coming out. He's flying over there. But no, honestly. I'm sure he'll let us know shortly. But again, you knew that they were going to have a solid match, and this presentation, like eventually, it was going to break down, right? Like, but to give it a solid 15 minutes at the end of the show, to me was.
I believe it was like 12 something because there's commercial breaks, but it was like 12 and change.
Yeah, like they gave it enough time. They make him more of a credible threat. Like anyone's a credible threat to, like, it's not like the Undertaker. Like he's not nearly 7 foot tall and, can just dominate over everyone. So Bo's 6'1". Interesting. Yeah, exactly. But yeah. Like I guess. Well, is it like NFL 6'1" where they're really like 5'9" and then they give him an extra like 4 inches?
I just think also not that Bo carries himself as a small person, but I think Bray Wyatt carried himself so big, and I think maybe that's why he seemed more larger than life sort of deal.
True, that's fair. So regardless, we get back to.
Do you want me to go to the match?
Well, yeah. We'll just the key takeaways from the match.
Like after they do the dance spot, like when Chad kind of pushes out of it, he screams like, "I'm not afraid of you," and then the squabble a little bit more, and then he pushes Howdy pushes Chad out of the ring, and he does the yeah, which I love. And then they kind of schmoz outside the ring, but you see like Bo keeps going into the ring to break the count. So again, like kind of still grounding it more in reality, like I want to beat you up on the outside, but like, oh, don't want to get counted out. And that's when he clears off the table, and then he does the Olympic slam. It looked great, but I don't know if the table is supposed to break or not. I don't know if that made it worse or better.
I don't know, looking at it, like I always get worried because like the iPads, like there's an iPad on that table, I think.
I thought he cleared them off. That was some. I don't know.
It never looks like they clear it off, but I don't know.
So he does that spot. Chad goes crawling back into the ring because he wants to get the count out. Bo gets in the ring at a count of 9. And then so then he does a superplex. Chad hits Hattie with a superplex off the top rope. Then he goes into, I love when he does the it's not the 3 Amigos, but he does his 3 Germans. However you say 3 in German. And then he does the straps down and he holds up. And then they do whatever. And then I almost said Bray. Bo's in the corner and he bounces down and does the Bray. He doesn't crawl, but he does the backward spot.
That's called like the. No,
I know he holds it under the,
yeah,
because he used to do that. He would do the Bray.
Yeah, but
would grab the ropes, flip his head back, and then he would go down into like the exorcist crawl. Bo just kind of did the flip over, but then he basically turns around, grabs him, hits a really good Uranagi, which is again, it was a brave spot. Chad kicks out. Then I don't remember if this is a Brody spot or this is a Bo spot, or they both did this. When he puts Chad on his legs on the rope and does the twisting thingy bob.
I don't think it's a Bray spot.
I was gonna say it's either Bo or Brody.
Yeah,
I don't someone correct me down below, but it's to somebody. He does that. He goes to hit the Sister Abigail, and your girlfriend jumps on the apron, Ivy Nile, and is like gets the referee's attention. So then that gets Gable into an ankle lock. Howdy gets the rope. Gable pulls him back in, and that's when this spot happens when Howdy pulls him, like kind of flips him over, and then Chad takes out the referee. Oh my god, ref bump. Then the Creeds come and they start beating up Howdy, and then of course then the lights go out, and then
there's my girl.
The White Six come out, and it's just the boys. It's just Loomis, Rowan, and Gacy.
So stop right there, because now I had the question of like, right when I was watching this, because I watched it back, because we watched it live and then got cut off, whatever. Where was Nikki Cross? Like, why? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like that it kind of makes Ivy look strong. Like, she could potentially, she's like choking out Rowan. But, like, she beat her up last week. Like, she came after her last week. Where was Nikki in this whole thing?
They just announced, or it was just news came out that she did resign. Nikki resigned with the company. They also are doing a overseas tour right now, and that's why you saw the promo package from Gunther. Like, a lot of people are over there. I don't know if she is. Maybe she just had time off. Maybe her and Killian Dane, Big Damo, are doing something.
That's fair. Lisa said she loved Rowan still fighting with Ivy.
At least I have that in my notes.
There you go.
Look, so obviously the guys come out. They're schmozzing. Ivy comes flying, jumps onto Rowan's back. She's clinging on, and he does the big boot to Julius. And if you want to click back, the Samantha Irvin, oh my god, she was just like, the one, whatever guy was like next to her trying to put his arm to help her, and she's like, oh god, someone's gonna hit me. But he does the big boot, and then he's beating them up through the crowd out with Ivy on her back. Ivy on his back. So that happens. Big boot, big boot. Then Chad goes to do the moonsault. Howdy moved. He lands on his feet, and then he turns around to go charge right into the Sister Abigail. 1, 2, 3. Uncle Howdy wins his in-ring debut. He does the pose. He does Brody's kisses. End of Raw.
So ultimately, what we probably expected, right? An Uncle Howdy victory coming out on top.
I did miss also the callback spot before the Creeds come after the ref bump. Howdy gets in the lockjaw or the mandible claw. They call it
The lockjaw. We're calling it the lockjaw now.
Sorry, wrong pay-per-view. But he gets the mandible claw.
Lockjaw.
He gets the mandible claw in.
It's the male
and
lockjaw.
You can tell that he's like fading, and that's when the Creeds come to save the day. I'm sorry, I missed that callback. Also, can I bring up 2 Corey Graves quotes? Because I thought it was great. So I missed this when we were watching Raw. Corey said that the glove that Howdy is wearing was made from Fiend gear. So I thought that was I don't know if you have a better picture, but Corey said that the glove was made from Fiend gear, and I was like, oh.
Probably not.
I don't know if you have a good picture of that.
No, the only thing I'll have is probably at the end.
All right. Well, I thought that was a fun. I don't want to call it an Easter egg, but a callback that is a little whatever. And then also, I like this quote a lot, and I think I've said this before on the show. I don't like that they go back and forth with Loomis, Gacy, and Nikki saying like, oh, Loomis thinks he's Mercy, and Gacy thinks he's Huskus the Pig Boy, and it's like you got to pick a name. Like you don't call Rowan Rambling Rabbit, even though he has big rabbit ears. So I love this quote. If I can give...
I don't know. You need to pick a name. You could just have your alter ego, like Uncle Howdy, and you have Bo Dallas.
This is why I liked Corey Graves' quote, and I feel like maybe puts it in perspective better. And I think Corey being on, I really love Corey Graves a lot, but I love this quote. If I can go back to it, okay. He says, "I know Bo. I wrestled Bo. This is not Bo. This is a completely different entity that is occupying the body and frame of Bo." So I like that a little. That they're calling like, we know it's Bo Dallas, but something happened, and this thing is taking over him. And I like that better than like, oh, he thinks he's Mercy the Buzzard. Like, oh, something happened, and now he's like possessed, and this thing is like is controlling his body. I think how Corey framed it sounds a lot better than like he thinks he's Huskus the Big Boy. Like,
so they're all possessed. You want everyone to be possessed. I'm not I think that I'm not.
I'm saying like I'm glad it's not a supernatural, but I think it just sounds better that like something happened to these people with this family and like all the vignettes that they were doing, that something happened and now they're these characters. I think that sounds better than how Michael Cole is framing it in the past.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I guess that's a good assessment to make, right? Like the character's possessed. Like this is him not like.
Yeah, because I kind of did I didn't write the quote down word for word like I usually do, but I don't know. I just like the way that Corey framed it better than it's been framed before.
No, I think you're a Corey fan, so
I do love. Oh, I love Corey.
I don't know. What did you all think? How did you all think Uncle Howdy did in his in-ring debut? Was that the expectation? Did you expect more? Shorter match?
More supernatural, less supernatural? Do you think they're finding a good balance?
Do you hate it? Okay. I don't hate it. I haven't heard much, but
let us know in the comment section down below.
We want to hear from everybody. Let's check. But yeah, as we move along, just get in some last comments here. Hold on. Professor Sherman. Ivy's a Knoxville, Tennessee girl. She can kick guys' butts. Yeah.
I know. I really like her with that stable. I think
with
some time and some seasoning, she's going to be good.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I'm hoping at some point they do, obviously, Ivy and Nikki, or they do like a mixed tag. I'm here for it because I really do love Nikki Cross. Nick's got to stick together.
We love Nick's.
We love Nick.
We love Nick's on this show.
Yes.
Don't just take our word for it. This is Nick Gage, MDK Jelly, and you're watching the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. MDK all fucking day.
Another Nick, another Jersey boy, telling you to watch the show.
Fan of the show. Friend of the show. That's what we should say.
He's our friend.
Friend of the show. So, as Nick Gage takes us into a little bit of an indie-ish type of vibe.
Indie-rific?
I don't use the term. I feel like that's
It's dirty.
Yeah, it sounds dirty.
Dirty marks?
It sounds too dirty. But we move in to AEW All In, where 5 new champions were crowned.
5 times.
Including Lisa likes to comment. Including a new world champion. Leading off, Bryan Danielson is the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Nikki, it was career versus title.
Yes.
It was a crazy match. What are your thoughts?
It was a good match. As much as I love Bryan, I'm a little sad that Swerve did not win. I don't know. I think it's a great match. I think Swerve looked fantastic. Swerve was heel in this match when he seemed to be turning a little more face, a little more tweener lately. I don't know. I just really love Swerve as well, and I hope. Apparently, Bryan didn't want to win the belt, but Tony Khan basically strong-armed him. That's the sentence I don't think I ever would say out loud, that he strong-armed somebody.
That's strong-arming.
Yeah. So it's a lot of also, it's a big thing that on the 0 hour, Swerve re-signed, and he's signed to 2028, something crazy like that. And kind of talking about they have the AEW pillars. I think Swerve is such a pillar of the show now, and so integral. And I think he's gonna be another he's gonna be 2-3 time. The belt will come back around to him.
It was a hell of a match that they put on. I mean, not to go blow by blow, but he kicked out of 5, literally 5 finishers. Bryan did.
Yeah. So,
what's that kick? What's he call that kick in the head move?
Oh, the house call.
Yeah, house call. The drive-by.
There's nothing I love Swerve so much. The house call looks so good, and he hit 3 of them. And when Bryan hit him with the running knee for the first time, and he hit the back of the turnbuckle and stood up and went like this and just no sold it. I was ugh. But the match started off with them kind of posturing and slapping each other, and the thing when the wrestlers put their foreheads together they're gonna make out, and they're lots of chops, the forehead spots. At one point they're outside on the apron, and Swerve has Bryan up, and Bryan accidentally kicks the referee, so then Nana gets the bell, and he does the Death Valley driver onto the bell, and that's when Bryan of course starts bleeding. And at one point, Swerve has Bryan on the mat, on the outside in front of the Brie and Birdie and Buddy. And he does the stomps, and it's just I don't know, maybe I do like Swerve better heel. I don't know, but
I think he's a better heel.
You
don't want to talk about face versus heel.
I know.
We're gonna talk a lot about face versus heels.
I know. And then he Bryan put on the SDF on him, and the tiger suplexes and the stomps, and then Swerve hit the vertebraker on him.
That was thank you for reminding me. That spot, because if you're a fan of the show, you listen. The Big Nick Energy moment for WWE, Cody Rhodes, a couple months, was the vertebraker, because it's not done in WWE, and it's done more often in AEW because they're more lenient with the booking and the matches, but Bryan Danielson is the perfect person to do that move to have any sort of resonance with it.
Right, because he hits it and it looks great, it looks gnarly. Then the mannequins come out to look at Bryan, and then Swerve shoos them. Shoes not the right word, but scares them away. And then he hits the 3 house calls, and then
that's literally 3 finishers.
And I just I don't know, the twerk where his leg looks it just looks so good. The more I talk about this match, the more I'm sad that Swerve's not champion. But then Bryan fires up. He has yes kicks. That's when Swerve sells the running knee, and he just does the little go and brush your shoulders off. Then Herman, I agree with you. I don't think the Hangman spot was needed. Hangman comes out.
I was getting to that. You were reading off. But yes, yeah, Herman. So moving along.
I can't go blow by blow.
I know. Well, I thought you were going blow by blow, but I couldn't tell. So yes, no, I agree. So ultimately they're going back and forth, and Hangman does show up, and
he pushes Prince Nana.
Which how dare you? How dare you? You know who that is? That's royalty. That is effing royalty. You do not touch that man. It's a treasure.
Yeah, then like
he is literally a national treasure. He is a prince. So watch who you're touching.
Yeah, but then sorry, you want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, no. So he eventually gets removed though.
Yeah,
He doesn't
like,
really.
He's there for not that long.
But
he kind of comes out. Security's like right there, and he's just like, "Oh, ew," and then like Swerve's kind of like, "What? Like what's happening?" And that's when
which leads me to believe that now that like that feud probably should have had the world title in it. Now you're gonna keep that feud going for.
Well, they have
reason?
next All Out. It's them in a cage.
Oh, I thought you were gonna book it for Bad Blood.
I would book that match for Bad Blood, baby. But no, that's the cage match is in 2 weeks. Next weekend. Next weekend already. It's next weekend already.
So ultimately,
okay. So yes. So he gets taken off, and then Brian hits another knee. He kicks out. Then he hits 3 more running knees to the back of Swerve's head. Then he gets the label lock in. And then Swerve kind of gets his hand up or out. And then that's when Brian like grabs his fingers and kind of does like a Peter Dune. And then gets him back into the lock. And that's when Swerve submits. And I've been going back and forth how I feel about him submitting or getting flat out pinned. I'm hoping, I don't remember how much he talked about this within a promo to Hangman, but I'm hoping they kind of play this as like the self-preservation, like I'm not going to pass out or like I think maybe him submitting then getting pinned clean in the middle of the ring maybe protects him. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I keep going back and forth. I think Swerve looks good in defeat. I think it was a fun match. Again, I like both of them. I think Swerve's your future in this. I think he's going to get that belt again.
Herman disagrees when he said the title isn't needed for Hangman. I don't know. I think they've had that blood feud for a while now. That like what's next? It's going to make it any more important to me. It's the belt, and then make a main eventer out of someone, make a champion out of someone for this. I don't know. It's tough to kind of gather, but that. Oh,
I was waiting for your segue into.
Well, no, I was
Wednesday.
Before that, getting into that. So they did interview Daniel Bryan after his victory, and this is what he had to say about actually winning the belt. I know you mentioned that Nikki mentioned that he claimed he was reluctant to win the belt. Well, sometimes you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need. Apparently, this is basically Bryan Danielson on the win.
I feel pretty great. People ask me all the time what my favorite moment is in wrestling, and I can never give them one answer because I've loved all of it. But this is the first time she remembers seeing me wrestle live. This is the first time my son's ever seen me wrestle live. And without a doubt, that was my favorite moment in my entire career.
Isn't she so freaking cute? Little birdie.
So he says his favorite moment of his career.
I also kind of loved, sorry to cut you off, but like when he won in WWE, when he won the belts at Mania, Brie tried to go out there and she was in the gorilla and pretty much the powers that be, told her she wasn't allowed to go out there, that she couldn't go out there and celebrate with him. So I love that she got to have that moment with him in the ring, winning a title, having their children there. The BCC came out as well. Again, I love WrestleMania 30. I love that match. Again, Daniel Bryan was everything back then. This feels a little more exciting because I feel like he got to celebrate it with his people. Like his wife got to be there, his children were there. Like he said, it was like wrestling in front of Buddy for the first time, like having Birdie there and remembering it. Like I think that's a big deal. I think it feels a little more special. I think that's why he said it was like the greatest, because he got to be there with them.
That's fair. So ultimately, well, I guess we'll bleed this into the next question, because going into Dynamite, we see, well, some of the next challengers, but ultimately, I ask everyone here, who do you want to see now that Bryan Danielson has his retirement tour with the belt?
He said on Dynamite that he's kind of doing a Ric Flair, that he is going to wrestle as long as he has the belt. Once he loses the belt, then he's retired. He's done.
Right. So, who, now that he's got the belt, is full-time, this is his last full-time run, who do you want to see challenge Bryan Danielson on his final run as AEW World Champion? Do you have any particular?
Well, I guess I don't know. The dream matches, I would love, hasn't happened before, like, again, him and Garcia again, like, him and Ashley Andrade, like, get him with some of the younger kids. And I guess one of the younger kids is coming up. But personally, what is it? Wrestle Dream, I believe, is in Seattle. I would love him and Swerve to go at it again, because they're both Washington guys, and then Swerve take it back off him. But in between then, I would like to have him have matches with the younger guys.
That would be
not necessarily the one we're about to talk about.
Tremendous. He's at Osprey too. Yeah, that would be really,
like Zack Sabre. Do you want to see him with, like, now Rick O'Shea is around?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Him and Nigel flipping McGuinness, because that was the rumor that, like, they wanted to do that at Wembley.
Well,
I don't think we'll ever see that match, but goddamn it, I want it.
Ultimately, well, we're gonna get not necessarily what everyone wants, but what Tony Khan wants, and the next and the Young Bucks want. The next challenger will be, I don't want to call him Jungle Boy, but Jack the Scapegoat, Jack Perry. And my question is, after what we saw on Dynamite and his attack on Bryan Danielson, does Jack Perry deserve to be the next challenger for Bryan Danielson?
No. Sorry, no. Like, it just... Thank you, Steven. I agree with Herman about Hangman. I don't think Hangman's going... Omega. I don't think Omega...
So Herman says Omega too. That's another good one.
I don't think he'll be cleared in time. He just got whatever centimeters, 20... That seems like a lot. But he got... Because he had the diverticulitis. He had whatever, it's part of his intestines removed. I don't think, as much as I would love to see that match, I don't think it's going to happen, sadly. But Steven, yes, Bryan versus Nigel. Give it to me straight in my veins. Yes, please, and thank you.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Because again, I didn't follow much of Nigel in the whole Ring of Honor and everything else, so yeah. I'll give it time. If everyone says that they want to see it, I will watch it.
I worry about Jack Perry, because you're doing a title versus title, or a champion versus champion. What is that going to do for anybody? You're going to have your world champion beat the TNT champion, which doesn't make the TNT your mid card, like, what's supposed to be your IC belt, doesn't look great.
It's only a 10-day build. Great point. That's why Herman is the professor.
It's like, so, and then you can't have Bryan lose. Your big champion, like, Bryan Danielson is your champion. He's going to lose to Jack Perry. In what world? Or is it going to be like a DQ? Like, no one wants to see that. No one wants to see this.
Yeah, I know. Well,
like, he just,
Jack Perry does, and apparently Tony Khan does.
But it's just like, he had a match with Darby. He beat Darby.
Yeah.
You beating Darby when you taped him and you bound him and you were going to set him on fire, and his dad came and saved him.
Maybe Kenta if you can get him. Yeah, they could probably get him. Is he a New Japan guy?
He was there. Oh, he was at the other show. He was in London. Kenta did a indie show. Was it Progress, or what was the other one? I don't know, but he was in London. I wouldn't mind Kenta. I feel like WWE ruined their opportunity with him, and then he got injured, and then they ruined him again, and then he got injured. But that'd be a fun one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But we want to hear from all you.
What,
Who else do you want to see? Like we've got a couple of great names. A lot of people.
Yeah, I
We've
just-
heard Kenta, Omega.
my worry
Awesome.
is that, like, again, like with Kenta, I don't want them to bring in a lot of poor, like, other indie people. Like, so you need to build up your young kids in AEW. Again, he has a stack roster that, again, like, have a match with, like,
Zack Sabre Jr. That's another one that's could be
Right.
run back. I mean, get a couple more of these dream matches in before it's too late, though.
like, give it to, like, one of the top flight kids. Like, that would be a fun match. What's the one that's dating what's her face? I forget their names. I can see his face. But give it to one of them. Have that, like, when Cena was, like, the US champion.
Oh yeah, like open challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
Let him work like that. Yeah, I could be down for that.
Steven, no.
Here, Aries.
We're not doing early ROH.
Yeah. Aries is but I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. So Bryan Danielson, as we move along, 'cause we got a lot to cover, was one of 5 title changes. Not only did the men's world title change, but as I move along, Mariah May is now the AEW Women's World Champion. Nikki, your thoughts on the glamour?
Toni Storm's my girl. We knew Mariah was gonna win. I think Toni got her to a good match. I liked this match better than Mercedes Britt. I think obviously more story.
Yeah.
Again, she did that. Mariah hit the sunset powerbomb on the outside, spit in Luther's face. She hit that good running knee on the apron. Then she goes and kisses Nigel, Jelly.
He's also an unsung hero in this whole feud. Luther is great.
Luther,
He's a big dude,
Nigel.
and like
Yeah. So like she kisses Nigel, then does a drop kick to Luther, then slaps her mom.
Yeah, I know.
Like a crazy person. Then Toni comes back and does the hip attack and does the pile driver on the steps, which leaves Mariah then bleeding. Then Mariah comes with the hip attack. I can talk, guys. Then like she kicks out of the Storm Zero and flips off Toni. Then they both low blow each other. Then they both headbutt each other. Like they're.
I mean, this is gonna sound weird, but like you don't see that in female like wrestling, so it's like just a unique. They've been doing, granted, a lot of some sexual stuff with boob stuff, but like they've been doing different spots to try and stand out, and like I give them a lot of credit. Like whatever, like they're finding unique ways to make the matches interesting, and that's what AEW, like the in-ring ability of AEW, like not that I love it all the time, like the Orange Cassidy type stuff. It's like very creative and innovative in the way that the storytelling in the ring is, and this has been kind of been like that as well.
Yeah. So the low blow, then they headbutt each other. Then Mariah May hits her Mayday. Toni kicks out of that. Then Mariah goes to grab the belt to hit Toni with the belt. Luther moves it and then flips her off. So then Mariah grabs the shoe that she, that started this whole thing. Then Toni grabbed the shoe, but then Toni can't bring herself to hit Mariah with the shoe.
Which sound familiar, which is the story. And we're just going to bleed this together because it was a good match and another title change, but the Tiger Driver, similar story with the Ospreay match about the face not being willing to do the dirty deed, right, to close the deal. And this ultimately is what cost Toni Storm.
Right. So then Mariah hits Storm Zero after hitting her with the shoe. And then she wins 1, 2, 3. Then they pan to Luther. Luther is crying. And then she like grabs her 2 belts and celebrates. And then apparently what they said on Dynamite, that after the match, Toni Storm rolled out of the ring and just walked out out of the arena into London in her ring gear, and they haven't seen her since. Which makes me think she's gonna come back even crazier. Like give her like a month or 2, like not on TV, and have Mariah do her Toni Storm impression for the next.
She is their
and
Becky
then have
Lynch.
Toni come back and. Oh, Toni's their Becky Lynch?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Has Toni? I feel like this probably has happened, but has like not at any like Toni Britt I feel like need to. I know they probably faced off in the past, but like it was probably like she was a hench woman.
It was
like
before she became timeless. Because then, well, maybe because then they were feuding when she was with Saraya, and Ruby. They were feuding with, I guess, Jimmy and Brett. Or was it just Jamie? That whole thing.
Well, so that's a nice segue. But before you get into that segue, we got a comment. Let me just catch up on the comments. Professor chiming in again. It's been a great storyline, great match. This is
great. The best
great long-term
going on in AEW right now with Tony.
So my only question about this, though, because watching, I almost called it post game, the press conference afterwards, and I didn't bring up the video of this, but like it was kind of a Mariah May, like Tony Storm 2.0, like
she read the statement.
Yeah, read the statement thing. So my question is it too soon for Mariah May's AEW title?
I don't know. I can argue either way. I think Tony dropping the belt, going away for a little bit, coming back and winning the belt back, I think will be good. I think Mariah has gotten better. Again, you got to give someone a chip and a chair to.
No, she had a good match. She had probably the best match of her career yet.
Agreed.
So, but now you are the woman. Now you have to help carry matches, and that's going to be what my concern is. Like, is she going to be able to carry matches in the show?
I think we need to see her because again, like when she won the Owen, like she had that match with Willow, and I don't think, as much as I like Willow, I don't think that was necessarily the best opponent. But then when you had her do squash matches, like, well, not necessarily squash, but I think she probably needs to have people more her size. I don't think she knew how to wrestle Willow.
Wrestle Russell Wilson.
Yes.
That's a tough one to get out.
But I'm hoping they can book her well in the next, I would say 2-3 months.
I'd also like to see her, like Camille would have been great with her. I feel like that would have been a nice little tandem. But like I'd like to see her with a heavy. I think she'd work out well with that. I always like the glamour girl, like the pretty girl with the big heavy, you know. Mercedes is doing okay, I guess, with what they got going on. But ultimately, so you made a good segue. You were talking about, last year she had the loss, or Tony had the loss to Saraya. Now, speaking of some other new events that happened. Oops, wrong one.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Jamie Hayter, sorry, skipping ahead. Jamie Hayter returned at All In. 0
hour.
Just to clarify, she returned 15 minutes and 43 seconds. We timestamped it before the pay-per-view in her home country. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jamie Hayter returns. We talked about, would she get involved in the Britt Baker storyline and be her backup?
I said that she would challenge Mercedes after she beat Britt.
Which I love that. I get that she has history with Saraya, but to me, All In 0 hour. My question, just like we kind of had earlier with the Bronson Reed point with the Braun Strowman match, was Jamie Hayter's return anticlimactic? With it?
She spelled Jamie that
Oh,
way?
I spelled it wrong.
Whoops. I was like, I don't think there's a one in there. We actually had my football draft. So I watched All In after it aired, and I skipped the 0 hour. So I really had no idea that she came back. Again, heard the history of Saraya. They took her out last year. That's why she came, and then like Saraya and her mom just ran off. The Sarayas ran off together. Like, I don't know if that does anything. Like, and then she beat Harley on Dynamite, but I was like, I wanted something bigger. Like, she deserved, like, she was a fantastic women's champion. Don't really love her orange hair and matching orange fur suit. But
I don't know why. This is gonna sound so bad, but like the Austin Powers, the second movie.
Heather, what's her name?
Heather Locklear? No.
Graham.
Yes, she looks like Heather Graham in that movie.
Yeah, I'm not loving the look or the outfit, but I loved her. She was such a good champion. I don't know, like, why is she not going after Mercedes? Why is she not going after Mariah? Like, Saraya can't wrestle. She can, like, how she used to. Because you want to, like,
Well, they're trying to build up, what's her name? Oh my gosh.
Harley Cameron, she
Yes.
beat her on Dynamite.
But they're trying to, yeah, I know, they're trying to make her the next Mariah May, basically, that whole gimmick.
It's not working for me. It doesn't work for me, brother. I want more for her.
Well, now, I mean, also the question is now with Jamie Hayter back, right? But you have, since she's been gone, in theory, you have obviously Britt Baker, you have Mercedes, you've signed Camille, who I think's got tremendous potential. You have, oh my gosh.
Are you trying to name the women's division?
Yeah, like, but you have like 4 or 5, like even
Shida, Riho. Like, you're doing nothing with Nyla Rose.
Well, no, but I think like
Kate Conti's coming back.
Some of the, like Toni Storm, like those. I'm talking about main event. Like Jamie had a main event type push going for her. Like she had that following behind her. I think that she could have been what Mariah is, in terms of like that momentum Mariah got over the last year. If Jamie was around and not injured, like I think she could have gotten that same momentum with the right storyline, right push. So
like a bad timed injury when she was like on a hot run.
Right. So ultimately, again, I think we agree. We're hoping that this is a situation where maybe they're just keeping her in the lower mid card because they just
sounds stupid. I'm hoping like either Full Gear or Revolution. She needs to going.
Yeah. Erwin said it happens when you have so much talent. Everybody can't get it. True, but I don't know. I feel like just having her walk out, like with what they did, you could have made her more of a moment.
Like I don't know, like a big like they. Oh no, I'm not gonna play that card.
Nah.
I'm not gonna play that card.
And then finally closing out our all-in takeaways in the last week, Ricochet, the worst kept secret in.
I was more excited about Nigel McGuinness.
I know. You were more. We all called it. We knew this was going to happen. Even Ben Stiller called it.
I know you. You know you. And I know you know that I know you.
Tony, I knew you were going to sign him. You couldn't resist. But that does beg the question. Well, Ricochet debuting. I'm going to ask this question right out the gate. Will Ricochet become a world champion in AEW? Because he fits the mold of the perfect, like, Omega, Ospreay, like, the type of top tier, like, wrestlers that they have. It's a more wrestling company, right, than WWE. You don't have to necessarily cut as great a promo to be a world champion if you're the best wrestler in the world. Will Ricochet become a world champion in AEW?
No. I can see him being TNT. I don't see him winning the world. Not for again the card is stacked like with people at the top. Not yet. Maybe he'll take the international.
Steven basically said he would book it just to spite. Tony would book it just to spite WWE.
No, not the world. Give him the TNT. Have him take the international one off Ospreay in like 6 months. Like right now, him and Bryan Danielson, him and Sport, like he's not there yet. This is too early.
I just think will, like, not saying like now, but like in a year from now, like 16, 18 months, will he be competing? Like, could you see that? I could see him getting to that level. Like, it's about being the best wrestler in the world, like not necessarily being the best promo.
There's too many other people. I'd rather have back on Swerve. I'd rather see MJF. I want to see Ospreay with the world championship. There's too many other people that need that belt before him. Maybe let's talk in 3 years.
Well, you mentioned it. When do we see Ricochet versus Ospreay?
I don't want to see that for another 6 to a year. Because everyone's clamoring because of how amazing that match was. You can't do it right away. I feel like you gotta wait. Again, like Pac told it, like, get back in the line, buddy.
Man, as Pac came out on Dynamite and gave the It's a poison Rana. It's a reverse Hurricane Rana, but on the stage to Will Ospreay as we tease the Ricochet Ospreay rematch.
You gotta let that breathe a little bit because everyone's like, "You're gonna do," and I think maybe subvert expectations and let that breathe. Let Ospreay run with that belt a little bit.
That's fair.
Because it's international again. It's no longer American. You're thinking globally. Globally.
So, again, a lot to look forward to. This past week has had a lot of wrestling, a lot of great, debuts, returns, 5 title changes. We might have more to come. This week is not, well, I guess.
So many notes I'm not allowed to talk about.
I know. There's so much.
MJF Ospreay.
I know we barely even got into that. Because there's so much between AEW, WWE, another. And if you want to talk about MJF Ospreay, by all means, let's talk about it. We kind of touched on it. Lex Luger. Well, very briefly.
I think you showed his little pants.
His Lex Luger pants. But we're trying to get through.
Yeah.
Basically 10 hours of well, more than that. It's Tony Khan books 14-hour pay-per-views. So we're trying to get through it all. But the reason that you all came here, at least if you see the thumbnail, if you came in on the thumbnail, the reason you came here is for WWE Bash in Berlin. Tomorrow's PLE airing at 1:00 Eastern time, whatever that is for you, locally. So, Nikki, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Well, let's get into it. Here is a little sneak peek at Bash in Berlin. Bash in Berlin. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun.
So we open for once. Well, I guess it's the first time. Steven's upset. It's in Germany. Nope. Sorry.
I thought
we got some
been more synthy,
I know. I tried.
German.
I put German music and it didn't come up with very much.
Was it like Oktoberfest music?
It was just a lot of stuff that wouldn't really fit for what we're doing.
Okay.
So we're gonna open with the WWE Undisputed title with Cody Rhodes defending against Kevin Owens.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes.
So my question first with this match, before we get to our predictions and who wins and all that fun stuff, is does the match stay friendly? We've seen little wrinkles in the last couple of weeks with KO holding the title. They bailed each other out a few times with A-Town Down Under and the Bloodline. They've helped each other this whole way. That's the reasoning behind the title shot. But every so often, there's been moments where KO can pull a KO.
I think it's going to start off friendly, and then it's going to get real chippy. And then it's going to get it's going to be hard hitting. I think Cody's going to win. and then I think KO will turn on him afterwards. I worry that KO turns heel and face a little too much, like on not Big Show levels, but potentially be Big Show levels.
He turns a lot.
But I don't know. Heel face, KO could do no wrong for me.
Yeah. Well, no, he's
both. But I don't know. I don't think it can just be like, oh, we're having an exhibition and you beat me, sir. Handshake, handshake. Like, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, you have to get a little chippy. So again, does he turn on Cody? Like, is it during the match or is it?
It's gonna be. They're gonna hug afterwards, and then he's gonna like hit him.
If it opens, it would be a nice. Would it be that shocking? I don't know. For like what? Well, we'll get to what I expect to be a hot crowd in Berlin. Excuse me. Is that a surprise? A big surprise for the crowd? I don't know. Like it may be a little anticlimactic. I think there's gonna be a twisted turn, but yeah, this might be. Maybe this is what they see as the.
I don't think you wait a whole nother. You can't. He's gonna do something tomorrow. You can't wait till like next SmackDown for him to turn on Cody. That's too long.
If you're stretching this out for a little bit, yeah, like another match, or
because then I think Randy, because spoilers, Randy's losing. Then you have Randy come back and be like, "Hey, like I thought we were like whatever," and then try to pull the gang back together.
That's true. And then the other question I have is like, if it's a friendly match, then does anyone interfere to try and make it a little bit more interesting? I don't know.
Probably the bloodline probably gonna come out, but
yeah, I feel like they probably would. I mean, I don't know. It just seems too buddy, and like, yeah, there's a little bit of wrinkles in this, but not enough that it has enough steam.
I think there's going to be interferences in the other matches that I think maybe keep this one just the two of them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to.
It should be going because like him and AJ had an incredible match, and like they should be on that level. Like him and KO should be on that level of having like a good match. Just keep it them.
That's fair. So that being said, because they're two pros, veteran pros, like they're gonna put on a great match. So that begs the question: who you got?
Cody Rhodes. Obviously.
Yeah, and Nikki and I. This is one of the.
We
agree
a lot on this.
But we do agree. We both agree that Cody Rhodes is going to retain as WWE Undisputed Champion.
Yeah, Cody's not dropping the belt anytime.
That's fair. So, we move along to the fun, the fun part of, at least I think, the fun mid-card of this. The mixed tag match between Judgment Day 2.0, being represented by Liv Morgan and Dirty Dom Mysterio, the hot new couple in WWE.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde.
That's what Cole keeps calling them.
I feel like that's so cliche and stereotypical, but whatever. And they're going to take on the Terror Twins. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest will finally get their opportunity to get their hands on at least a couple of members that screwed them over. If you didn't catch up on it, let's catch you up on what's been one of the fun feuds that we've enjoyed in the summer, over the summer. This has been the feud.
Summer of romance.
Summer of romance and
love
betrayal.
Had me a blast.
Nikki, Judgment Day, Terror Twins.
I love them.
What are you thinking?
I love Rhea and Damian together. They were so cute. Oh, I watched a little bit of the kickoff show, and they're just like best friends. And I love their love, unlike the Liv Dom love.
Summer of Nuggies.
Unfortunately, I think that Liv and Dom are going, like, the Judgment Day is going to interfere, and like it's going to be like a roll up. Someone's going to roll up somebody. It's not going to be like this dominant pinfall. Like, it's going to be
This definitive victory.
like a dusty something.
Yeah, I think the fact that Finn got away and still seemingly healthy
Yeah, well,
hasn't
Finn
gotten.
protected Liv on Raw.
Yes, you made note of that. That would be a crazy, awesome wrinkle in the storyline of like the whole Liv, like, I wanted to take everything, and then I took the man that you loved and turned him against you, and still didn't care about him. That would be amazing.
Like, she used Dom to get into the Judgment Day.
Yeah, and then like kicked him aside. That would be pretty.
I think there's so many more miles on this, and I don't think it's the right time for the good-ins or the baddies to get their comeuppance. I think, again, booking Bad Blood, baby. I want to see the women's championship for Bad Blood. I think the Heelys are going to take this.
Yeah,
Because you could stretch this out. Just stretch this out, the Heels need to win.
So my question is, with JD McDonough and Carlito being beaten up on Raw, will they be there?
Yeah.
All right. So you think
Rhea hit the riptide on JD, and then Carlito took the South of Heaven. But like, they're gonna be there. I think they're all gonna interfere. It's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be like a 5-on-2, and something's gonna happen, and that's not how they're gonna win.
So then the question is, if you think they're winning, then, but does Rhea hit the riptide?
Oh, I hope so.
On Dom, I should say. Sorry,
yeah, I hope so. I really do. Like, it worried me that I don't know if she didn't have, like, when she hit it on JD, she kind of stumbled back a little bit. So I don't know if JD kind of like just twerked farther back when she flipped him up. But Dom's bigger than JD, so it makes me a little worried. But I hope so. I want to see it.
Yeah, like, I want to see them have that. Steve called in a couple weeks ago and he's like, I want the match. I want the match.
I'd rather Bad Blood.
Yeah, like that probably, like, her and him at Bad Blood in lieu of a Hell in a Cell between her and Liv, or Steel Cage between her and Liv, like, probably would be the perfect step for her to like get to Liv eventually. Like,
we said that the other week that it should be like how MJF made Chris Jericho fight like all those, like, Hoovy and all those people to get to that match. Like, I hope maybe the next step is like, oh, you have to be XYZ to get to me.
Yeah, it would be nice to, like, I always appreciate it's like the video game mentality, like the bosses. You go to the different levels.
Yeah, and I said again, like, walking the fine line between a mixed or like an intergender match. Like, I think it can be done, and when it's done correctly, it's great. When it's not done correctly, it's not great. But I'm hoping, I think for anybody to pull it off, I think it's them two and Hunter behind it.
Yeah, I agree. And ultimately, that being said, Nikki and I agree that the new hot couple continues their run.
Yeah, again, this is going to keep going, and for having to keep going, the and then have a chicken nugget celebration.
Oh, a nuggie and sex celebration
on chicken nuggets, and then Dom just rolls his gross hair and mustache in it. like snow angels, like nugget angels in it.
Gross. Oh. I'm drinking after that.
Cheers, everybody. I think he's hysterical. I think Steven's on board with me. He said Summer of Nugs.
Summer of Nugs. This is going to be this summer some Nugs. Oh, God. So we move along to what could be the biggest, well, it's definitely the Bad Blood feud of the. Yeah, you love Bad Blood. I know you're booking Bad Blood, but we're doing Bash in Berlin first.
Yes, dear.
The Bad Blood feud, in my opinion, of Bash in Berlin, the strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. As these two now cross a new.
Black skies, lightning all around me. I remember each flash as time began to blur. Like a startling sight that fate had finally found me. And your voice was all I heard. Did I get what I deserve? So give me reason, prove me wrong, to watch this memory fade. Let the blood stop the distance in your eyes. Give me reason, fulfill this soul, connect the space between. Let it be enough to reach the truth that lies across this new divide.
And we bring them in
Look at you actually finding a good cover.
once in a while. A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So
Oh, we don't know. 2 weeks ago, Nick had a terrible.
who was doing
version.
it's a band called Hallison that I found. Yeah.
What was that? Oh, what was that song? That was terrible.
Oh, yes, it was Friday night in the Cheap Thrills. Cheap Thrills. We like Cheap Thrills on the show. But regardless of my quote unquote terrible music selection, we are getting into the nuts and bolts of this pay-per-view.
Oh, this one is hard. Hard, but not hard. If you have not seen it, because I know Nick will not let me read it to you, go back and watch that Drew McIntyre promo from Monday. Chef mother flipping kiss. So, like, again, I probably watched that promo like 4 times. I think it's one of the better ones that he's done in this feud. Just, he's one of those justified heels that I can't, like, I'm booking CM Punk because, again, they're going to have a trip, the Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood for my birthday. That's my birthday present. But, like, Drew, like, so needs to win this feud, so I'm hoping he's going to win at Hell in a Cell if that's how this is going to go.
That
But that's the thing, like, Drew won SummerSlam. You have to have Punk win this, and then it's his stipulation, and then have the third blow-off match. But everything that Drew said in his promo was so true. He said, like, Punk only attacks me from behind. 3 minutes later, he's getting attacked from behind. And then Punk beat up the security guards. Like, and then Drew's supposed to be the heel in this?
So that's the question. Is Punk turning heel?
We did talk about that on Monday. I think it's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna do that now. Is it gonna be like a
like
a double turn?
Like I get the like everything he said. First off, the promo. Going back to your point, it could have been one of the best promos Drew's ever cut.
Like, oh,
if not the best. He trolled him so well, like basically used all his line. Like, I started dying. Because I remember like I rewatched on the couch like on Tuesday, and you're like, and I was cracking up because he's like, little Timmy flew 1,864,000 miles from Thailand,
from the moon.
Yeah, from the moon to be here, and like
to see his Lord and Savior CM Punk.
Just like everything is like, and I don't know if that's like I think some of it's obviously the Triple H effect, but like that maybe going towards the Netflix, like the ability for them to just be like more free in their promo. And Drew is the person who probably, like, you talk about, like we talked earlier about Swerve being the AEW guy who like shined the last like year and a half, like from WWE, came over and like was able to just take the bull by the horn. Drew has done this in the last year. He probably has been the breakout star male. I would argue like
to say because he's such a vet, but like this feud has like I don't mean to cut you off, but like has renaissance is maybe a strong word, but like this Healy turn that's supposed to be heel, but you're the justified heel, and he's like, you know, because he came out, he's like, isn't it great to be alive on a Monday night, like stealing his lines? He's like, I'm not trying to be cute, like I'm telling you the truth. And then he was like, you know, he's like, oh, you know, CM Punk, I know his routine. He comes out saying how hot wrestling is. He's like, you sit on your ass for 8 years while everyone else was doing the work. And then he does the, you know, sentimental part, the Timmy part, and then blah, 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 blah. And then he goes into like, you're choosing nostalgia over the warrior that was there through the dark times. And saying how like we all, like, I remember watching, we told everyone we got engaged. We were watching Royal Rumble at your condo, and we all wanted Drew to win. And I don't remember when and why we turned on Drew, but he's just like, you're picking nostalgia over me. Like, I was your guy. And now all of a sudden, like, I'm not your guy. And he's like, and then he's like, but I forgive you. You know not what you do. And I'm like, like, it's so good. I think,
he's like an anti-hero type stuff. And like, that's the Attitude Era. That's why we love Triple H. It's the Attitude Era.
Is this going to be the double turn? Is this going to be the Austin Brett? But like, another way, but also Brett was really Healy before then, but Jeff Carson, like how I feel about Bret Hart. But I don't know. This is the match I'm most excited about on the card, to be honest.
Yeah, I tend to think so too, just because of the unpredictability of it. Yeah. The other thing is, I mean, this is just a random question, but does Punk or McIntyre bleed in this match? That's my question.
I'd assume. I think maybe. Well, you're maybe not like gushing like a Ric Flair or like a Moxley's bleeding somewhere, but from all the, I'm assuming it's gonna be hard hitting. It's gonna like the dog collar match is a lot. I'm assuming we're gonna see some back blood.
To get ready for Bad Blood.
Some Bad Blood, my birthday party.
Nicole's favorite pay-per-view.
Bad Blood.
So ultimately,
like
Nicole
he debuted on my birthday, despite him being not a great person. Anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
No, but that being said, Jerry Springer, final thoughts. Who you got?
I'm going Punk, so they're 1-1 to go into Bad Blood.
I agree. We both.
He looks like Simon Cowell in this photo. What is happening?
He is Simon Cowell.
I don't like his hair or his face in this.
Well, I didn't do it. I mean, not really.
Anyway, I digress.
So we move along into the women's tag title match. Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. And almost an hour and a half into the show, I said that perfectly. Thank you very much. That's a win for me.
Proud of you.
Against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Nikki, your thoughts and predictions?
Well, I feel like that's also a hard one because, like, again, them not giving 100% the love that these tag belts should have. Again, we said that they, Isla and Alba won the tag matches because you needed someone Scottish to win at Clash of the Castle. I also said that right after a couple cocktails.
Nicely done.
They finally got a win the other on Raw. I would say it's
a little late, but I gave you a chair.
It's not enough, but then like also didn't want the belts off Bianca and Jade. Is it because I feel like they have to put the belts back on because eventually you know that's the meeting match is Bianca Jade.
All right, so first off, you touched on it.
Okay.
But does a loss mean the end of the Bianca Jade tag team?
I think they have to win the belts again to split. Like, if that's your meeting match, this is a long time to get to Mania. They have to have the belts again and then drop them maybe at like Royal Rumble or maybe Survivor Series, and that leads you into Mania. I feel like they have to have the thing to lose the thing and to divide. I don't think losing another match at this juncture is more than 6 months out because October to April is 6 months. I think. I don't know.
It could be. I think this could be the beginning of the end for this tag team.
I am going Bianca Jade. I think they have to have the thing and lose the thing again. I just don't think them losing, because the last time they lost to Alba and Isla is there's a interference. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a clean loss, and there's no way. To me, like I really do love Bianca. I don't think there's a way for them to beat her clean. So I think they have to get the tag belts back, and then I rather them lose to Sonya's group or back to Damage Control or somebody else that's maybe a little stronger. At this point, they haven't built Isla or Unholy Union, is that easier to say? Haven't built them up enough to them not to beat them clean.
That's a great question. And that was the question I had. I was even booked too weak to be tag champs. And that question, and you saying that firmly gives me my conviction. I was waiting for my thoughts on why I think this is the most definitive win. They're going to find a sneaky way. I hope it's not like a stupid roll up like it's been, but a good way for them to win. Ultimately, I disagree. I got Unholy Union getting their first big win to reestablish the tag division, because ultimately Bianca and Jade aren't going to be in the tag division. They're going to be single stars, and they're going to eventually win more world titles. So to me, I think it makes more sense for this tag team, it's actually a tag team, to get the push.
I just don't think losing one match to them is going to set them on the trajectory, to that word, to have your medium match.
Maybe not, but at least it'll set them off. It'll start setting the who's weaker. That's the whole storyline. Is who's weaker of these two. That's 150% like that. It's who's the bad bitch. Who's the bad bitch? Let's be honest. So, moving along, this is actually one of the rare where we disagree, but we move into the main event. It's in Germany. We figured it would be Gunther. Here's a quick little recap of their feud before we get into our predictions. The main event, Gunther with his first official title defense against the legend killer, Randy Orton. Nikki, your thoughts on this match?
Two words, ring general. Gunther ain't losing this match. I think it'll be a good match. I hope it's better than their King of the Ring match. Randy, keep your shoulder down. I think this is going to do a definitive, in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, after like 400 power bombs. He needs to beat Randy. I think this would beating Randy, like, I think it's now like the opposite in a way. Like, Randy was a legend killer and killed all the legends. It's time. I think where Randy is at, he can be that giving person, like so many were to him, and Gunther needs to win. It's going to do so much for him.
Yeah, his first title defense.
His first title defense, beating Randy Orton, that's not like he's not already there, because to me he is. But I feel like, and maybe more people's minds that weren't aware maybe of Gunther and NXT or UK or Walter and, in Germany. I think this will kind of put him on the map more. Like, he beat Priest. Good, he beat the champ, but beating Randy means a hell of a lot more.
That's fair. So my question in this is, does Gunther get a bigger reaction than Rhea Ripley did in Australia, or Sami Zayn in Toronto, in their relative hometowns?
I feel like I would have had a better answer if I watched all of the kickoff show to see what Gunther got there.
He got a relatively decent pop. I mean,
but you also had the conversation that you didn't think Rhea got a big pop in Australia, and then Sammy in Canada, like
he was. I think Sammy probably was a little bit more over in Canada than.
I hope he gets a huge pop. I really, really do. He deserves it. You know. No, I think he needs to get I don't know, but he's so good as a heel too. I don't know. I wish
Orton?
No, Gunther.
Oh yeah.
I just wish I saw the press conference to get a feel of what the crowd was thinking. Regardless, Gunther's winning.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, like, again, like, and then the other question about the crowd, like, will this crowd be hotter than France? Because France was the hottest crowd I think I've seen
This year, yeah.
Yeah, definitely this year. So, will it get to that level? This fly is right around my face.
Will they sing Randy's entrance music? Because I feel like they did it, and that's what started this. And then he did the promo. He's like, "You were singing my song." And it's like no one in that crowd was singing your song, or they just hear like just sing. I hear voices like that. The Friends crowd sang that whole song.
Yeah, oh yeah, they knew everything.
And then they knew the whole thing. And it's like again, I also know the whole thing, but it's just like people are just like, I hear like you just sing the chorus. So like that promo was like again like the crowds are so different. Again, it's like the saturation of the market here in the US and them not being starved for live wrestling. It's such a different energy. And right now, like I'm fine with them not doing so many. I think 1 o'clock pay-per-view day drinking and be in bed. I love it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, just being
having
the rest of my day to do stuff.
Yeah, and then instead of me watching AEW for 10 hours, when I can watch a 2-hour, and like our friend Billy made a comment yesterday saying like, "What the pay-per-view is going to be like quick?" And I'm like, "I'm like 2 hours and 45 minutes to me is the ideal time of a PLE pay-per-view. The 5-match card, maybe you can do 6. Beautiful. 1 o'clock, yes, please."
Yeah, that being said, again, this match, it's in Gunther's home country.
Not country.
Well, next to his home country.
Where he started.
That being said, thank you for fact-checking me.
Anytime, bye-bye.
Nikki and I agree.
The ring general.
We got a ring general as our winner, retaining in his first official title defense. Mm-hmm. We got through the pay-per-view.
Oh God!
There's been 2 pay-per-views to get through. A lot of title changes. A lot to talk about. We're gonna open up the phone lines here. So as you all get ready, if you want to chime in, the call-in link is in the description. So just click on that link. It'll take you there. Write in your little name, whatever you want to be called, appropriately.
Not late for dinner.
Call in, not late for dinner.
Call me anything, but don't call me late for dinner. My dad always said that.
Interesting. Oh no, I know that one actually.
There.
Here we go. So we are just about to open them up.
Huh?
So if you all want to chime in, what are your thoughts on this PLE?
What are you thinking? What are you drinking? Tell me all the things.
Bash in Berlin. This is the best one I got right now.
Okay.
I don't know. I got a bunch of thumbnails. So.
Okay.
That being said, let us open up. I think we're having some technical difficulties with the phone lines here. Hold on.
This is what we use these. What are we doing?
Hold on. Let me change a couple things around here.
We can just sit here and sing Cody Rhodes together.
Cody Rhodes. But what are you all thinking? Phone lines are now open. We want to hear your thoughts on Bash in Berlin, or really AEW All In. What was your takeaways?
Then can I read the Drew promo then?
I guess so. Yeah.
Because then he goes, "Isn't it great to be alive on a Monday night? I know his whole routine, how hot the industry is, how he sat on his ass for 8 months. And then the sentimental part where little Timmy flew in from long miles just to see his Lord and Savior CM Punk. And that's when he sits down cross-legged. He's like, do I have your attention now? Which I loved. Just the way his inflection is like, do I have your attention now? And he's like not trying to do a bit, not trying to be cute. I'm just telling you the truth. He's like, CM Punk just likes to attack me from behind, which he did. And then he's like, the crowd started chanting CM Punk. And then he's like, do you know what an enabler is? And then he's like,
which is a great.
So good. Because obviously with everything Punk being like straight edge, really other stuff, and he brought up like the drinking thing. But he's like, do you know what an enabler is? He's like, you probably don't. I'll tell you. And then he's like, oh, like you're chanting his name and gets them all like intoxicated, and we become sober. He's like, oh my God, Drew's gonna kill me. And he's like, and I am. And like the way he said it, I was like, oh, it's so goddamn good. And he's like, that's when he goes, you're choosing nostalgia over the warrior that has brought you through the dark times. And he's like, I still forgive you because you know not what you do. Great line. And then he goes like, and then the bracelet thing. He's like, this 50-cent piece of crap brings so much emotional hurt to CM Punk. With the strap, in the strap match, I'm going to do so much physical hurt. And then that's when Punk came out and hit him with this from behind again. And then I still don't get him beating up the security guards. There has to be something there.
No, Punk, I think Punk's very good. But we opened up the phone lines. Yeah. So, that being said, he calls in every week. Ladies and gentlemen, say his name, and he appears.
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Steven!
Hello, everybody.
Wait, I didn't read his name. Put it back.
Oh, hold on.
Or is it Ben Yays?
Ben Yays.
Love it. Steven, tell us about your script, and then we'll get into wrestling.
Well, you can see why they call them cocaine donuts down there. And then that's a light coating for them. Seriously, if you go down there and you get an order of beignets, you will get messy. There's no getting around it. Wear a lot of napkins.
Fair enough. Steve. Steve, so you had a nice little trip. You came back. We missed you last week. Now you're back. What are your takeaways? You have a lot to share. I'm sure.
I did come back from there with a wrestling-related story that I heard on the Haunted tour that I took. There's a good amount of the population down there that truly believes that the Superdome is cursed.
Okay.
And the story they use, one of the examples that they used was, I mean, it's pretty well known that WrestleMania 35 was the tipping point for WrestleMania going to 2 days. It was 7.5 hours long. What a lot of people don't mention, or if they even recall it, was WrestleMania 34, the year before, that was at the Superdome, was almost as long. And what happened was, by the time you got to the main event, which was Roman Lesnar 9, I think at that point, It was Roman. Yeah, it was Roman and Lesnar, and Roman was supposed to win. And by that point, not only was the crowd in New Orleans really, really tired, they were getting a main event they didn't really want, and they were like mostly blasted to the gills. I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but the people of New Orleans like to drink.
Really?
They're kind of our people.
Yeah.
No kidding.
And they all relate that to the curse of the Superdome that led Vince to change the ending of the match, the winner of the match, in the middle of the match. So Roman was supposed to go over, and instead it was Brock.
Is that when Brock threw the belt at Vince?
Yes, that's the very one, and I think that's unless I'm forgetting one, that's the last WrestleMania to date that they've had in the Superdome. I'm sure they'll be back, but yeah, that was the most recent one.
That's a neat takeaway, and yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that was a long mania.
Yeah, I thought that was a interesting little story. I mean, not exactly scary, but it plays off of. I mean, they really a lot of them really believe down there in curses and voodoo, and especially considering the rest of the history of the Superdome and the Saints, it ties in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. That's a pretty neat little takeaway. Steve,
Yeah.
always learning about wrestling on your trips.
Schooling us.
I always do. I did hear a couple of people discuss down there the old Mid-South territory. That it wasn't based out of there. It was based out of Tulsa, but they stopped at New Orleans quite a bit. And, they mentioned all the old names from the early 80s, like Junkyard Dog and Ted DiBiase and Duggan and the Birds, Bill Watts, that all came down from there. And, of course, Jim Ross. Quite interesting. I was like, how did you know that I appear on a podcast?
You went to the right place.
It was meant to be.
Like and yeah. I told him like and subscribe.
Thank you.
But yes, it was a fun trip, and yes, there was a little bit of a wrestling tie-in, and it was quite something to see the Superdome in person, even though it was from the highway of a moving car. It's spectacular to see when it's actually right there instead of on TV.
Steve, did you go by it and go, it's so spectacular to see the Silver Dome?
And I should have done that, but the Uber driver probably wouldn't have gotten that joke.
Yeah, I know. Actually, he might have. You never know. Like, in front of 97,000, 100,000 people, I slammed Andre in the Silver Dome.
I don't think that would have worked for him, brother.
Brother.
What else you got for us, Steve?
What else do I got? Okay, Bash in Berlin. First of all, it's great that there's going to be a pay-per-view on a Saturday that's going to end before dinner. You can actually have a night. Oh, I see somebody is saying that they are here, so I'll wrap things up quick. But
we'll do our pick a pin, and then we'll come back to you, Steve.
Yeah, we can always come back to you, Steve. You're a regular here.
Fine. That is fine.
Yeah.
Hang out.
We can do that. Listen. The bar is open. We're extending the bar extra hours. Listen, happy hour goes 2 hours nowadays. So
I'll eat some of these stale pretzels in the meantime.
Let's be honest, you're eating nuggies, Steve. You're eating nuggies, and you will enjoy those nuggies.
I'm glad I spelled I'm glad I checked I spelled nugs correctly before hitting send.
Oh boy. Steven!
Well, Steve, we'll catch you back in a second.
Hang in there, babes.
We got callers coming through. So, you never know who's going to show. Ladies and gentlemen, he is not a stranger to this show. ladies and gentlemen, he's the only jewel in the professional wrestling industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Ruby.
Good. Yo, what's up?
There he is, bringing him in, ladies
How
and
you
gentlemen.
doing?
The man, the myth, the legend.
That's right.
Zach, what is going on?
You know, I'm just getting ready for the show tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty big show, Gotham City Slam. It's going to be in Old Bridge, New Jersey. Doors open 5 p.m. There's the flyer right there. Check that out. I'm here with Yaya. No, say hello too.
What up, Yaya the Gremlin up in here, yo? We going down tomorrow. We got some building.
Check out the shirt.
We're gonna have these Shabu shirts.
Nice. Hold on, let me try and pull this out.
Oh, right there.
No, put them full.
Yeah.
Sabu Gremlin.
Available only at the show. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So tell us a little bit about what's going on. Gotham City Slam.
Well,
Who
you
are
got
these
your hero
clowns?
right here. Me and the hero been butting heads. But tell them about
Listen.
your match. What you got going on?
You know, I got
Wait, first off, I got some complaints. As your unofficial manager, I got some complaints that I have to address. How are you in a triple threat match? This is garbage. Absolute garbage. What kind of
I don't know,
booking
but I'm going to kick both their asses, so it don't matter if it's garbage or not.
Well, you
but-
need two people. You need two people in the match because clearly, look at that physique.
That's right. The gem, baby.
No, I agree, and I didn't want to know what Ivan would do to him or try to do with him one-on-one. You know, he's fresh out the pen. You don't know what he's, might have been a while. So
Is the guy got the chest protector because he needs extra protection for my boy Zach? Because
I
let's
was
be
gonna
honest.
keep him safe. And now, there's 3 of them. So maybe, if Ivan goes to put those moves on somebody, maybe it's not Zach. You know what I mean?
We'll see.
What
And he's
moves?
cut above the rest, so he's starting off the whole thing.
I want to know what moves is he going to put on Zach Ruby? He can't. There is no one that can touch Zach. Let's be honest.
Nope. Now that sexy beard
Find
he's
out.
got.
You heard him. We'll find out tomorrow.
I believe in Zach too, even though we butt a lot of heads, but
We're going to have some serious renegotiations coming on with this triple threat. Because listen, Zach, if you're coming at, if our client here comes out of this match with a victory, we expect some sort of title match. There has to be.
You heard that, Gremlin?
this is all leading up to title matches. But
Yeah.
I feel like instead of being like, hey, here's 3 people and a title, let's let everybody wrestle. Let's pick out of that group, and then let's put the titles on the line with people that earned it already, That's the only reason where there's going to be titles there from other brands. We're not debuting an official title yet.
Well, that's because you need someone with prestige to carry that title. And there's only
Right.
one person in that organization with prestige
here.
to carry the title.
The gem. Who better?
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, if he wins this match tomorrow, I'm definitely considering it.
Considering, no, it better be a done deal.
But
Listen,
that's
you only-
That's
Better be a done deal.
He's
Yeah.
got to win.
I will win. I always win.
Yeah. We don't take any of this garbage. Listen, negotiations are ongoing for this match. You put him against these 2 clowns. This is what happens. You
Yeah,
see
they're
what happens.
It's going to be a handcuff match too. So someone's ending up at the end of the match in cuffs, and it won't be me.
Hey, as long as
Seriously,
you're
'cause I got no bail money, Zach. You're done. I got no bail money, so
Hey, Crazy Ivan's getting locked up, so back to the prison.
exactly.
it's a cup and chain match.
Yeah, cuff and chain match. Yep. Someone's getting.
Well, we're looking forward to it. So it's tomorrow night, Saturday, August 31st in Old Bridge.
Doors open,
Correct.
doors open at 5.
Doors open at 5. Starts at 6. I will be the first match, and we're gonna do some crazy shit. That's all I gotta say.
That's the way. That's the way it is. Listen, we only support the winner. This is why.
Oh,
Our guy Zach.
And Sabu will be there. Sabu's in Jersey currently. He will be there. So
Awesome.
he's going to do some crazy shit also.
Of course.
Yeah. When is he not?
He doesn't know how to not do normal things.
So we're looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in New Jersey tomorrow, in or around the Old Bridge, New Jersey area, check out Gotham City Slam. Friends of the show. What's the hidden gem? That's it. The hidden gem of the professional wrestling industry.
Buses and trains are free in Jersey, so there's no excuse not to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything's free this week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We talked to the mayor, Gotham City. We talked to the mayor, and he agreed that he will keep all transit in New Jersey free so that people can.
Good man.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed. Well put. Well, fellas, best of luck tomorrow. We're looking forward to it. Zach, I expect to hear only good news.
I don't have a cup, but here's my invisible cup. So cheers.
Yaya, pleasure as always.
Much love, man. Good to see you.
We'll catch you next time.
Oh, yeah. Have a good night.
You too. Good luck. You don't need it. You're going to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Ruby.
Beard. He didn't give his beard that good of lighting, but it was there and I saw it. Next
time. Yeah, I know. I have to give him a Lex Luger-like intro next time of the show. Look at those caps.
Oh, you need to. So I'll get a mirror. He's gonna pose, and you're gonna be like Bobby the Brain, saying how muscular he is. And how
look at those muscles.
His beautiful luscious beard. Zach, we love you. You're gonna do great tomorrow. Opening the show, get it, girl.
Yeah, that's the way it's like. Look, you look at the flyer. Oh, you gotta put
like
him and Sabu.
Next to Sabu. Looking good. I'm excited.
Get ready for the Gotham City Slam.
Everyone go follow him everywhere. I almost said Twitter, but I was like, I don't. It's but no, much love.
That being said, we always have, it's a bar. It's a virtual bar, so you have people that cut the line. That happens all the time, sometimes. So sorry, our regulars are still here. They still stick with us. So we're bringing them back in. Steve!
Yeah, thank you.
The gem is truly outrageous.
Listen, he's the gem.
Did she do it? No? Okay.
No, he's trying to get you to pop.
I missed that. That went over my head.
Yeah. I don't know. It might have been over my head too. But anyway, Steve, sorry. Go ahead. What else you got for us, Steve? I know we cut you off there, buddy.
I'm on like my fourth.
It's quite all right. Whenever special guests come in, I no problem ceding my time. Yeah. I think tomorrow, it's either going to be set up tomorrow, going to happen tomorrow, or it's going to set up tomorrow, depending on what the match order is for tomorrow. I don't know if they've announced that yet, but it's going to result in Orton turning on Cody either tomorrow or the next SmackDown.
Orton.
So you think KO, the match with him and KO will stay
Right.
heel or stay face, but Randy's going to come back from Raw and be a heel.
Yeah, Orton's going to go back to SmackDown, and he's going to be A, upset that he lost, and B, upset that Owens got the title shot before he did, and he's going to turn on Cody, and that's going to set up Cody's next feud.
So then potentially bad blood would be Cody Orton?
I mean, let's book it, baby.
You want everything on that.
It's going to be a 6-hour extravaganza.
Yeah, I heard there's something else going on that day. I just don't remember what.
I don't know either, Steve. Just make sure you're at my house.
So.
Yes, ma'am. I
So
take instructions.
So, Steve, in your eyes, you see Orton. So, would Orton then Cody and Bad Blood?
I at Bad Blood with maybe a rematch at Survivor Series. possibly. And it'll happen tomorrow. If Gunther and Orton is the opening match, then it's going to happen at the end of the card tomorrow. And if Gunther and Orton closes the show, then it's going to happen on SmackDown. I think either way, it's imminent.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. I just feel like it's KO's turn. Like I think KO stole the Orton turn, if that makes sense. You know.
Well, I think that's the impetus for Orton turning. You know, that Owens got the shot before he did.
But how can he get mad when he also just had a title shot on a brand and he doesn't go here?
Yeah. I don't know. Orton as a face does much more for the company than KO as a face.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. It's possible if Orton's reached the stage where they're going to cheer him no matter what. I suppose that's possible.
That's what I think. I think he's a 14, 15, whatever he is. Like
14
double
and
digit
15
world
because I got it wrong the other because I don't know if there's on WWE's YouTube there Cody Rhodes has a show called What Do You Want to Talk About? Sponsored by his vodka company, and he had last week or the week before he had Randy Orton on there, and it was his longest show to date, and they basically just cry to each other how much they love each other.
So maybe I don't know. Maybe I feel like the one thing I will admit is like I feel like all WWE programming is like kind of geared towards like we're still gonna set up the kayfabe storylines one way or the other. So
exactly.
like
Plant the seeds
on the road with each other in a
seeds.
documentary. Yeah. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
No, I said plant the seeds anywhere you can plant them.
100%.
Yep.
Absolutely, Steve. So, Steve, what else you got before we let you go here? For
one last thing is since I missed out on it last week, I think WWE should release any of their wrestlers that throw their dogs off moving motorboats.
Agreed.
However, that whole Logan Paul. So there's a Logan Paul story apparently of like a bunch of years back, where like there's a video released on YouTube where like his dog appears to be thrown off a boat. He came out and said that he like was adamantly against it. Like it was filmed like it looks like the way it came across.
The people were saying that it looked like they pushed the dog off, and Logan said that the dog jumped in itself. But people are saying that the dog was encouraged to jump into the water so Logan can go in and save the dog, and they all have it on film. Like, isn't he a great guy saving his dog from drowning? When basically, I'm necessarily looking at it, I don't think they like literally pushed the dog in. I think because again, I have a dog. You can get Jackson excited. It's like do the thing, and then they do the thing, and you're like, oh, I have to do it. So not defending him like he pushed him, but like he's also a piece of shit.
Right. Not the greatest person, but in that scenario, yeah, there's a lot of gray area. But then again, a lot of what he does has a lot of gray area.
Yeah, I hope he dropped the belt. You're done, girl. Bye. It was a cute little experiment. You did some fun things. You're still a piece of shit. Girl, bye.
And legal's probably trying to find a way to get out of the Prime sponsorship and from going forward. And but in the meantime, he's off TV. I didn't realize that video was a couple of years old. I thought that was recent.
I think 2021.
Yeah, like it came back around because of some like media person or whatever found, obviously, like everything else, like cyclical.
HR's vetting sometimes leaves a little to be desired. So,
girl.
Yeah.
Conversation.
But that's all I have. Let's future endeavor the guy and get him out of there. It's too much trouble.
He is a headache. He's really good. He's a headache. I do.
Again, a fun little experiment. You had some cool moments, some cool spots. Again, trying to separate like what you can do in the ring outside your piece of shit personality. The belt's on LA Knight. That's about to start.
Yep.
And he has the open. Oh, real quick, he has the open challenge tonight. Who do you think is gonna challenge him? And is it
I already read. I won't give it away, but it'll make perfect sense.
So mysterious, Steven.
Well put. Steve, with the mystery and without the face too, with the mystery, which is even better.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, you, sir, pleasure as always, but you are cut off.
Yeah. Spoilies.
Unbelievable trying to get these spoilers for our shows. We don't do spoilers on here. Where we're going, we don't need spoilers. We are the spoilers.
Surprise. Well, it's been a fun show, but we had the supporter, our friend Zach. We got to talk to Steven. Lisa chimed in. Our new friend, the professor.
No, I think it's a great show. We got it in just a little over 2 hours. But as SmackDown starts, I think this is a positive one.
Get your snacks, take you and your dog out, and get ready for SmackDown. So go home, show up for Bash of Berlin.
Yeah, I mean, you put that really well, but I think only our not so CCO can put it that way. Paul Levesque, ladies and gentlemen, Triple H.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed, banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
We were. And hopefully we'll be able to do that again Sunday.
We're having mares.
Sunday, we're back here recapping Bash in Berlin, 6 p.m. Eastern, whatever that time associates you locally. We hope to see you then. So come back and join us, and we'll recap what went down in that event. But that being said, until next time, enjoy SmackDown. Until Sunday, you do not have to go home.
But you can't stay here. Bye.